The best way I can describe it is it feels like you're drowning in a pool and everyone else around you can breathe and you're helpless and you're just suffocating.
I surrendered to my alcoholism, I surrendered to my disease, and that was the first step for me to be able to move on and say, I can't do this alone.
Today, I feel confident. I feel happy. I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm 18 years old, and for schooling, I'm at an adult learning center to do an extra year of high school. I'm hoping to go to college to become a CYW, child and youth worker. In grade 8, I guess that's when it started to pick up. I just had no friends, and I was okay at that point. Then grade 9, my sister moved away, and my mom was no longer working from home. So I was alone, and the loneliness started to kick in, and I just searched for ways to get rid of that.
How was your day? Did you have a good day? Because I knew she was struggling, just like going home, calling to come home like in grade 8 and stuff. I knew she was having trouble, and just having no friends, no one at school. It just broke my heart. And then in high school with Andrea going away and me working outside the home.
When I got to like the end of grade 7, the beginning of grade 8, I just like lost all the friends I had, and I started looking for reasons as to why it happened, because no one really told me why they stopped talking to me and why they didn't want to be friends with me. So I just automatically went to the exterior, because no one wants to say that there's something wrong with their personality.
Hi, I'm Sophie Good. I'm 20 and I suffer from severe clinical depression.
When I was about 5 to 9, I was showing signs of early depression. I was staying at home. I was pretending to be sick so I didn't have to go to school because of bullying. It was pretty bad for a while, and then when I was about 14, I started self-harming. It started with burning a bobby pin to the bottom of my heel. It turned into cutting eventually after that, and when I was 16, I overdosed, trying to commit suicide. Someone with depression, a bad day is you can't go 10 feet from your room because you're so physically overwhelmed by all the emotional stuff, and it's hard to just go from a bed to a kitchen to get food, or a bed to the washroom to have even something as easy as a shower, or brushing your teeth or brushing your hair. Those simple things that people find easy or second nature get extremely difficult for someone who is suffering from depression, especially on a bad day.
I think being a youth is so complex. I mean, if you think about it, you're a youth in itself trying to navigate work balance, school balance, being having some kind of social life, relationships, all those sorts of stressors as it is, and then compounded with a mental health issue on top of that, that's a huge burden to have to bear.
Currently shopping with my dad in California, and we're on our way to San Francisco, and we just came from Sacramento, and there's palm trees, and I'm having a really good week so far. It's only Monday, but we're leaving on Saturday, and we've been here since Saturday, so it's exciting.
Behind my happiness is a lot of sadness. I get very anxious in social situations, like even walking through the hallway is actually like my biggest fear. Like I act like I'm happy and stuff, but really like words get to me, and like I just get really upset over things. I still think there's a lot of challenges to come. Like personally for me, I haven't been able to go to the cafeteria at school all semester because I'm too scared. It's hard to wrap my head around everything and to like get myself to do these things because I know it's my brain that's sick in that I can't control these thoughts and I can't control my actions and I can't control my fears, and that scares me.
So what do you do to sort of fight off the stresses in your life? We have a school here of about 1,400 students, and there would be a small percentage of that are sort of in that category where I'd say they're struggling with anxiety and mental health and so on. But the stressors that I'm talking about, I think, are affecting all of them. The social media, the disconnect from society and from family so that they don't have any sense of right and wrong and absolutes, something they can count on in their lives.
Growing up, very active kid, outgoing, very caring and loving kid. Went through public school fine, moved into high school, the drugs came and the alcohol and the peer pressure of high school and really tore me apart. Got into trouble with the law, and with the mental health end of it, it brought a lot of depression and anxiety and drug-induced psychosis.
From what I've heard and from where he was and where he is now, just so proud of what he's done that you know, I'll definitely throw my efforts, whatever I can do for him, behind him.
And no one else can really talk to you. I find music talks to you in a way. There's a lot of stigma attached to mental health. They stereotype or label you, and they put you in a box. And that's what I try doing with my music, is try to prove or gain the trust and respect of other people.
Who's got some Timberwolves spirit in this school? Does this side have it?
Yeah, I think I got my anxiety when my mom attempted suicide. That's been something that I haven't been able to really cope with yet. I don't really understand it.
I would just use drugs to cope. I never talked to anybody about it because I don't think a lot of people understood. Like, you know, like when I was in high school, like they say that they're there for me and stuff, but like they weren't really, I don't think a lot of people understand like when someone in your family commits suicide but doesn't actually die. You know what I mean? Like I think that people are just kind of like, oh, okay, so they're alive, so then why are you sad? I think I more so want people to understand like what mental illness is and like how to support people with mental illness. Like I don't specifically would need somebody to know like, okay, like that I have anxiety, I have depression. Like I just want them to be like educated on what it is and like how to properly talk to someone.
So be supportive, be there, let them bounce ideas off you, give them some thoughts, but let them make some decisions because that really builds resilience.
I heard about the workshop and I have 2 teenagers and I'm constantly hearing about teenagers killing themselves and things like that, and it scares me. As a parent, I can always learn more and I'm always wanting to learn more.
So you got to remember to not do those things because it is about the person.
I think the main message is really to engage with people in our family and engage with our young people around mental illness, talking about it, and becoming informed as families together so that people can see it as a challenge that any one of us can face. 1 in 4 people will develop mental illness.
Having talked about some of the mental illness awareness with my own kids, what they have been learning in school, I wanted to see what other information might be available to continue that discussion with my children.
A lot of mental health issues, especially in teens, are overlooked or underrated or seen as attention grabbing. So it's really hard when you're trying to deal with that actual thing, like when you're actually dealing with a mental health illness and a lot of people just look at you like, oh, you're just doing it for the attention of it, or you're just crazy, like I don't want you around me. Like I've actually been in an airport wearing a t-shirt and a lady was staring at my scars, almost disgusted, and it made me really upset because, like, I'm sorry, I'm not the way I should be. I don't know, it was just really upsetting to be judged for something that I can't necessarily help.
When was the last time you self-harmed?
About a week ago, I believe. A really close friend of mine committed suicide, so that was really hard to deal with. It's a lot easier to deal with a physical pain that you can heal, that you know is going to heal, and that you know you can take care of and not make worse or make worse. Whereas when you think about emotional pain, you can't actually do anything about it. It's just there, and it's not going to heal, at least not for a really long time, and some of it just doesn't.
Come talk to me.
Can we talk?
Can we talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Can we, and then talk underneath. Yeah.
You can come talk to me.
So, depression?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I suffer with a mental health disorder, so I have severe clinical depression.
It's a great way to get it off your mind. And
yeah.
Who do you talk to?
I go to different high schools and colleges and different events like that, and I do this documentary and stuff.
Are you on medication for it?
Yeah.
Keep you balanced?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You've got a beautiful smile. So
Thank
keep
you.
up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Came out to be a little bit more than what we thought it would. A lot of people are actually looking and wanting to talk to Stephanie, which I think is phenomenal. The ones that aren't really stopping are maybe doing something in rush or avoiding the camera in some aspects, but really interested people and wanting to know what we're doing here and what this is all about. So I was very happy with the turnout.
Yes. What's the problem of you?
They just wanted to talk to me and see how I was doing. Other people mentioned that I don't look like someone who has a mental health disorder. So it was really interesting to see that and kind of get response from different people and see how it went.
Hi, my name is Heather, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm currently doing the social work program at Laurentian University through Georgian College.
Who's that, R? Who's that, Egan? Who is that?
I was abused as a child, so that might have something to do with my alcoholism. I don't think that is why I'm an alcoholic, but my abuse definitely made me feel less than everyone else. I was a very fearful child, and those emotions drew me to using, because when I drank, I didn't feel fear. I didn't feel like I was less than anyone.
Just a teacher.
Yeah.
Being a teacher after 9 years.
I noticed a lot of my alcohol was even missing, and I didn't touch it. And then I kind of realized my sister was acting a little off, and so after that, I kind of went to my parents, and then we kind of sat down with Heather, and it really impacted me hard because, like I said, I looked up to her. We were very close, and just seeing her go through that, it was not something I wanted to see.
If she doesn't mind coming up, Heather Campbell.
I was given my recovery, and I need to give that back if I want to keep my recovery. I need to constantly be helping other people. And it's good for me because it reminds me where I used to be. When I talk to someone who's newly sober, it reminds me that used to be me, and I know what that feels like, and I don't ever want to go back there.
This is the first ever Stacked Start Talking About Coping and Drugs art exhibition, and we have youths from all over Simcoe County that have experimented with different medias such as photography, acrylics, drawing, printmaking, all sorts of things where they can express how they feel, and it's a means to coping with different types of stress that they're experiencing in their lives.
So this piece is it's called Crisis, and really it's kind of about my struggle with my mental health and working through that and trying to understand better what's causing it and how I can work through it. And this really helped me to understand that, if you know what I mean.
This is my picture, and I'm autistic, and it makes me feel really happy to see my picture where everybody can see, because I like expressing my words through photography, because I feel that photography expresses your feelings in a way that words can't.
If it wasn't for Nautic, I would be in jail right now, because they have showed me the right path instead of doing all the wrong things in life. They've showed me that there's always more than one path.
We use our heart, caring as a family member. The individuals that we work with, the young people that we work with, we care about them. A lot of them come from a home that doesn't have that caring, so we step in. Sometimes I step in as that father figure, that big brother, or just a friend, somebody that relates to them. I have been there where they're going.
You plug her in? Oh yeah, I know you plug her in. Like this.
I was bottling a lot of things up, right? So I didn't really care much. If I was walking down the street and someone was looking at me the wrong way, I'd go at them and I just wouldn't care. And everything here is just meant to be like family, right? Everyone's well connected with each other, and it's always good spirits around a Nautic.
When I smudge, it calms me right down, and it just makes me feel a lot better. Like before, I could feel myself tensing up, and then as soon as I smudge, it's like just full relaxation.
If they were my sons, I would be the proudest father around. And they both came from a hard family, and I can relate to that. So what they've done now, today, I'm very proud.
In terms of this documentary, not everyone is supporting me, and it hurts. Because you would think people would just be happy that I'm happy and happy that, you know, I'm doing what I want instead of trying to conform to something that I'm not.
My self-worth wasn't great. So, do you know what sexting is? It was basically like sexting what I was doing, except you were typing it out instead of texting it. And I was doing it with these people I never met. I don't know how old they were, but I did it. And I was, I would have been 13. You could connect and you could have these online friends, and it was something that I didn't have. I didn't have friends. So I went there and I immediately latched onto it. My mom got a webcam so I could Skype with my sister. But I didn't just Skype, obviously. I just found a new outlet to do what I was already doing, except instead of just typing it, I was actually doing it. And I craved it. I craved the attention I got from the opposite sex and from that sexual attention, because I never had that.
Your BFF one day could be your enemy the next day, right? So you have to be very careful about the information that you give people. We have kids as young as grade 4 that have cell phones now that have the ability to send pictures and to communicate. So it's only going to get more important that we get the message out there that these kids have to be safe online, using social media, things like Facebook, giving out too much information, letting people know where they live. Giving out too much information can be a real really bad consequences.
Did you talk to him about anything else that day, like when we were in there? Things that used to bother us, which would be relationships and troubles with the parents, there's still factors. Kids still worry about those things, but now they have the increase of social media, which is a real stressor on them. They're constantly being bombarded by texts and information and bullying, attacks on their personality, how they look, and so on. So they're almost always on stage constantly to perform for their friends, for their family, for their teachers, for everybody. So that's a big stress.
On social media, like I posted something about mental health and somebody responded like, oh, you're just doing this for the favorites and stuff. And I was like, this took a lot for me to say, and it's just really inconsiderate of you to say these things to me.
Cyberbullying is everywhere. You can, I said I like to watch YouTube, and you go on the YouTube comments, there's hate all over there, everywhere. And you don't even know this person, but you still say things like they want to kill them, or they wish they were dead, things like that, you know. You don't know them.
I think parents have to take responsibility if they are going to be buying their children cell phones that have the ability to go online, that they have the kids understand that what they can and can't do. If you're paying the bill, you should be able to have that password and be able to go up to your kid at any time and say, "Can I see your phone for a minute?" Why? Well, I just want to see, what you're doing. I'm paying the bill and I want to make sure that you're not doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. So they definitely should have the password and be able to take that phone at any time and look at it.
So I just had a panic attack. It's been a rough day. I hope everything will be better. It's just there's a lot going on right now, and I just don't know how to handle it, I guess, and it's beating me.
Cross your right leg in front. Turn. Dig your heel.
We are doing a flash mob here at JOA to basically raise mental health awareness, and we have practices every week, and hopefully by the end we'll be able to perform it in front of our school, and we're thanking them all. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone because I'm an awful dancer and there's a lot of people, but whatever gets the message across, really. People, especially for me, don't really believe me sometimes. They'll just say, "Oh, it's all in your head, get over it," and stuff. But they don't understand that I'm fighting a battle against myself, and that scares me, more than anything.
All right, so I just finished one of my exams. I'm feeling pretty good right now, not too stressed. Hopefully I can keep this good pace up.
Sit.
I don't know, I just feel like people think that mental illness is, there's a look to it. You look at somebody who's, upper class, well-dressed, going to, university, whatever, and it's I guess most people wouldn't think to look at that person and be like, oh, they suffer from self-harm, or, they have depression, I think it's because people think that if you're doing good in life, that you have no other reason. You have to feel how you look, I guess.
Maybe you've never heard my voice, but I'm begging, please.
All of this is all about the youth of the city. This is a place that's going to generate the funds to be able to create a youth shelter and to be able to be a support to keep the youth shelter going, not having to worry about if we run out of money. We believe this place will be successful and be able to help pay and to keep the youth shelter going, ongoing at all times.
I just think there needs to be more attention about the youth at risk and the homeless youth in all of Canada, not just Aurelia, but Aurelia specifically, because I think there's a lot more than people realize. I know as myself, when I was out there was a lot of kids that I really didn't know were in the same position as me.
It's not about me, it's about our city, it's about the young people on the street, it's about the young people that are struggling in their life. It would be wonderful if the community would come in and support us so that we can pour into their children and the young people that have nobody.
I feel so second best. I feel like nobody cared. And I know that's not true. I know there are people that care. I get so put off and so pushed aside.
People that say just suck it up and it's a phase might not have the education that people should have for mental health disorders, because it's not something that I can just pass over or work through. It's something that I'm living with on a day-to-day basis and have been for basically my entire life and probably will.
It's really hard to get out specifically what you're feeling when you don't even know yourself necessarily or why you're feeling that way. Because most people, when they're sad, there's a reason behind it, or there's something going on that's a very recent thing, like a pet passed away or something along those lines. And with depression, it's hard because it just comes out of nowhere. It's almost hard to justify it when there's not a reason behind it.
I've just noticed lately that I have been wanting to use, and I've been wanting to drink and even if the thought's just there for a second, it's still there, and that can be really scary. But I'm feeling confident that I won't use. It's just sometimes I have those days where it sounds like a good idea, but I do know deep down inside that's not a good idea. I was afraid that I was missing out on life. When I got sober, I was 21 years old, and that's the time where people are going out and partying, and they're going to the bars and they're doing all those things. But I'm not missing out. You're not missing out. When we drink, it's not the same as when other people drink. So we're not like, it's okay to not drink, and you'll find true friends in sobriety.
Yeah, I did find one. The words are easy for I don't know where I'm supposed. Oh wow! I remember I was in grade 10, and I told people I lost my virginity before I did because my logic was if I convinced other people that someone found me attractive, maybe they would find me attractive. That's not how it works, but my logic at the time was that's how it works, so that's what I did. I changed my appearance a lot. The reason I cut my hair short is because I dyed my hair a lot. That was actually a coping mechanism for me. I dyed my hair instead of real physical harm because I knew it would grow back, but then I can't deal with the consequences.
She was such a strong, compassionate person. She was caring, she was loving, that I guess it makes it that much harder to believe. She was depressed in the sense, I think, of her self-image. She considered herself to be fat, ugly, no matter. I mean, I used to pretty much tell her every day, because I walked by the bathroom and she'd be putting on her makeup and how beautiful she was. But I mean, you never really believe that your parent, it's like you're supposed to tell them that you're beautiful, but she really, really was beautiful. Parents need to talk to their children, but it's more important to get the children talking. It might seem very trivial to a parent, whereas it could be the biggest thing in the world right now to that child or to that youth. I'll never be the same. There's an empty void in my life. She was my life.
I'm 19, and I have severe depression. I'm confident in who I am as a person because I've accepted my mental health disorder. We're going through the normal life struggles as well as the extra struggle of battling basically an invisible disease.
I still have anxiety, and I know I always will, but now that I'm talking about it, everything just kind of seems to, I seem to be happier, and everybody seems to be nicer, and every day seems to just be brighter. Once you speak out about it, you're joining other people, and you can talk about it, and you can cope with it and everything, join the team.
I'm content being alone now. I've gotten over that little hump of being alone sucks. I want to be someone who people can look at and be like, I'm in the same situation and she's gotten out of it, so maybe I can too.
It's good to have us all together. It's kind of nice to have everyone together because we're all struggling with something, and just to have us all together is really cool. But I don't really know them, so that's interesting.
I want the community to know that youth do have a voice. They are struggling, they are dealing with a lot of stress, and they're trying to cope, and they need the support to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to get through it. And if we can just hear what they have to say, I'm sure we can help them much more than we can by not hearing it.
Sometimes it's good to be a glow stick because you need to break before you can shine.